Let's return to This Week in America. Here's your host, Rick Bratton.
Welcome back, everybody, coast to coast, This Week in America. In celebrating our Creator's love of truth, love, and light, A Child of Light by Yvonne Trapani, you will discover the timeless journey of truth, love, and light through poetry, stories, and affirmations that reveal our connection to the Creator and the essence of humanity. Yvonne was born in New Iberia, Louisiana, a registered nurse, successful businesswoman, and author. At age 32, an interest in the Bible and its wisdom moved her into a better lifestyle. Freedom and the truth still motivate her to continue her Bible study. Yvonne's thought-provoking book celebrating our Creator's truth of love, life, and light, A Child of Light, showcased at two of the most prestigious literary events of 2024, the Word on the Street Toronto Book and Magazine Festival and the 76th Frankfurt Book Fair, the largest and most influential book fair in the world, also featured at the famed Texas Fruit Festival in Austin. And Yvonne Trapani is our guest on This Week in America.
Well, hello there, Rick.
It's a pleasure to have you with us. So much to talk about in the book, celebrating our Creator's truth of love, life, and light, A Child of Light. We'll give you Yvonne's website as we go through the conversation today. Before we start, would you be so kind as to read a poem from the book, just to sort of set the mood for what we're going to be talking about during our conversation today?
Sure, Rick. Here we go. It's going to be called The Secret of Truth's Presence. In the quiet of truth's presence, how my being delights to hide. Oh, how precious are the lessons which I learned by light's eternal side. Worldly cares can never vex me, neither trials lay me low. If when in doubt comes to tempt me, to the quiet place I go. Each day the truth brings me to a place beneath the tent of wisdom's wing. There is a cool and pleasant shelter and a fresh and bubbling spring. And love does respect me as we hold communion sweet. Memory gives me answers as I write. What a joyous encounter when thus we meet. Oh, how healing blesses as I listen, and my rejoicing heart cheers. Do you think life never reproves me? Think again. Perfection fills my ears. Do you think that I could love one half as well or as I ought, if freedom did not plainly teach and tell every unhealthy word and thought? No, for nature is very truthful, and that makes me share kindness more. For I know perfection loves me, though that sometimes wounds me sore. Would you like to know the sweetness that comes from our Creator? Breathe the life-giving air within the earth, and there your reward is simply greater. And whenever you leave the silence of that joyous meeting place, creation seals you with memory upon your beautiful and lovely face.
Beautifully written and beautifully read. That's from the book by our guest on the program, Yvonne Trapani. That's celebrating our Creator's truth of love, life, and light, A Child of Light. Yvonne's website is on our website, thisweekinamerica.us. I'll give that to you here in a few minutes. What inspired you to write this book? What was the inspiration behind this?
Well, Rick, in honest, I wasn't going to write a book. That wasn't my true intention. I was going for just more truth and finding these letters, and I wanted to understand more about them. So I was gathering information for like 6 years, gathering it, writing about it. And then I noticed how when I went back to like looking at some of my poetry and some of the children's stories, how I wanted to change them, because now with this new light, I wanted to make them even better. So what started out just for me, just for my maturing, developed this book.
And you share it with all of us. The book is celebrating our Creator's truth of love, life, and light. How long have you been studying the truth?
Well, the truth I'm going to say this as a young girl, because the minute I think that I knew how to formulate questions, that's what I was doing. I never wanted just to know a yes or a no, or give me just a little bit. I was always, well, what about going a little deeper here? This hand works, but how does it work? How does it get
yes.
just a little deeper? So I'm going to say since I was a child, I've always asked questions.
Why did you study the truth? What was it that drew you to this topic in particular?
Because it said in the Bible, the truth would set you free. And Rick, I would go to places and I would listen to what they'd have to say, and I would, study, and I still didn't feel like I found, or that I felt freedom. I was still caught in these boxes and traditions and religions and philosophy,
yes.
and I just didn't feel free.
Does the truth, does the truth set you free? As you studied the truth and understood, did that set you free? I get the impression it did just by, in the video, seeing the look on your face and your passion for what you're talking about, and how motivated you are by this. I guess you found the answers.
Yes, I did, Rick. And I live in present time. And there's nothing that I can explain to anyone about living in present time and discerning the light for the day.
That's so important, and I'll come back to that as we carry on our conversation. Living in the present time. That really, so often we find ourselves, well, not in the present. We're somewhere. We're in the past. We're in the future. We're just not here and enjoying and really living in the present time. In the beginning, I really did sort of a brief explanation of who you are, where you came from, how you were shaped. Personal questions. Give us a little bit of background on you so we know who Yvonne is.
Okay, well, I'm 72 years old, and I was married for 34 years. I was delightfully given 2 beautiful daughters, and so I'm a mother of 2, a grandmother of 6, and a great-grandmother of 7. At this time in my life.
A very youthful great-grandmother. That's hard to believe. Whatever it is that you found, please, I'm glad you're sharing it with us, because we can all use some of this in our lives. Yvonne Trapani is our guest on the program. If you're Googling Trapani, new bifocals, Trapani. Her website is very simple. It's her name, YvonneTrapani.com. We've got that on our website, thisweekinamerica.us. You'll be able to link on directly. Talk about, you wanted to know and discovered the Hebrew letters. What's the background on this, and what did this mean to you?
Well, as I studied the Bible all these years, I ran across a ministry, and it was called 119 Ministries. And I couldn't understand, well, why would they just choose that one song? Well, I got to the book, and I'm going to open it, because on each of these, you can see that there's Aleph, there's Bet, there's Gimel, there's Dalet, there's Hey. Well, after each one of these, there are 8, and I'm going to call them affirmations. I don't think that King David would have called them affirmations at his time, but in our day, it's that he was trying to describe what that letter meant. And I thought to myself, well, why he's writing it in Hebrew? Why would he take the time to then take each letter and then write something after it? Because it had meaning. It had more than just a letter to make a word. So that was very, very intriguing to me. And having seen that King David wrote 8 affirmations. So when I did my book, when I started doing this as just learning the letter, I did 8 affirmations after every letter.
And these are life-changing. Would you please read the affirmations? It's a very important part of Yvonne's book, Celebrating Our Creator's Truth of Love, Life, and Light. Would you please read the affirmations for us?
Well, I'm going to take the affirmation for the light letter pay. Pay, let's see, pay looks like this. Let me see. This is what the letter looks like, okay?
Oh, yes, we can see that. And by the way, the video version of this is up on YouTube and on our website, thisweekinamerica.us, so we can see what Yvonne is referring to.
And then this is the 17th letter. It's a P in our English language, and its numerical value is 80. Just a little bit of understanding there for the letter pay. Now I'm going to read that. After I got all the meaning understood, then I wrote 8 affirmations for it. Mouth, speak letters into words of peace, and watch how our Creator will use us to influence others. Number 2, get out of the borders and constraints placed for your maturing. Now express yourself in ways that bring eyesight to the blinded, hearing to the deaf, and wisdom to the voice of the unlearned. Number 3, our Creator gave us breath and a full day of life with an ending of daily rest. Number 4, the Almighty is our speech power, the Aleph to Tav. When connected, our word power is the beauty of the entire earth. Number 5, may our Creator's presence be so that the ends of the earth will see love, life, and light, and cherish wisdom. Number 6, our connection is our Creator's word. Now I'm going to say that one more time. Our connection is our Creator's word. Be ye perfect as your Creator blesses you in perfectness. Number 7, remember we have freedom to choose, just not freedom of the consequence. Remember, when a person is humble and relies upon our Creator, that person's power of speech will transcend its natural limits and be a source of strength for others. That's the 8 affirmations for the light letter pay.
And you will find that in Yvonne's book, Celebrating Our Creator's Truth of Love, Life, and Light. So much there in those 8, and we went through those briefly. We could spend 10, 15 minutes talking about each one of the affirmations. There is so much there. This book is so powerful and receiving rave reviews, not just in this country, but internationally as well. I mentioned the literary affairs and book fairs all across the world that this book has been a part of during the course of this year, 2024. Let's talk a little bit about the cover of the book. In the book, you've got Child of Light. Where did you come up with this saying, and why are you using it?
Okay, it's on the front, a child of light. And in Matthew, there are certain places in the Bible, okay, that this word light is used. Like, ye are the light of the world. Let your light so shine before men. John, that ye may be the children of light. Acts, to turn from darkness to light. He that loveth his brother abideth in the light. Ephesians, walk as children of light. Romans, and let us put on the armor of light. So, of course, this is very important because the great heart is our Creator, and we're to be a little heart here on this earth,
yes,
projecting out the light.
So there's a message in the book cover. The book you'll find on Yvonne's website, YvonneTrapani.com, Trapani.com, Trapani. Her website is her name, and we've got the link on our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Creator, is this not God? And explain that if you would.
Okay. In all religions, they will express their God by a name. Elohim, Yehovah, depends on the philosophy. You know, it could be a man's name, but it's always that they are designating that little God as maybe our Creator. But then I don't know, because all I know is that if I say creator, there's definitely, you're thinking, oh, creation, the whole gamut.
Yes.
Whereas if you just use the word Elohim, well, that's connected to Hebrew. If you use Yeshua, that might be correct, just connected to the Christians. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's
yes.
They're specifying a name when you say our creator. That is humankind, fossils, rocks. It doesn't matter what animals, it's everything. And our creator created everything.
It's all encompassing, and I actually see how you're using that, and that really does capture the essence of Yvonne's book, Celebrating Our Creator's Truth of Love, Life, and Light. Book available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, all of the usual places. Information on her website, YvonneTrapani.com. That book is available, links, by the way, available at our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Talk about some of the letters of light, and if you can, maybe if you got something there, maybe you can even show them on the video so we understand fully what you're talking about.
Well, this is this is Bet. This one is Aleph. Aleph is the first one, Bet, and then we can go, and I'll show you Gimel. Gimel looks like this.
Okay.
And then we have Dalet, looks like this. And Hay looks like this. All different, but unique. And so what was the other question?
Well, and that pretty well answers it. To show some of the letters of light, and all that is fully explained in Yvonne's book. I mentioned in the beginning, there was a point in time in your life where you decided to really clean up your lifestyle. It was a dramatic lifestyle change. Talk about your eating habits, what you do now to stay healthy, and the impact that that's had on who you are as a person.
Well, we do things not knowing the consequences, actually. And had I known when I was 32 years old, when I went vegetarian, that at 72 I'd be able to play tennis on two competitive teams, I would have the energy of a 40-year-old. I think I've been very blessed, is all I can tell you, because I eat in season. Sometimes it's organic and sometimes it's not. It's, to me, it's more important for the fruits and vegetables to taste good. I do cook some things because I like potatoes cooked. It just depends on what the vegetable is. I don't want anything raw that's not supposed to be raw. Do you understand?
Exactly.
I want to eat it. So it's pleasurable also, because when something is appetizing, it has beautiful colors in front of you, and you want to eat all of it because it just looks beautiful and it tastes delicious.
A secret to a life-changing lifestyle that Yvonne went through, and it's, again, all shared in her book. People may be asking, okay, how does love, life, and light of our Creator differ from the normal meaning of everyday love, life, and light? How do you answer that?
Well, love for our Creator has to have discipline, rules, and boundaries. Because if you love like a child, you're not going to just set them in a place where they're not protected. So our Creator would never do that to us either. Our Creator gave us what we should eat, how we should treat nature, how it will help us as individuals to love with these boundaries and these laws of nature. And the more you understand those laws of nature, the more you're going to love everything that our Creator made for us. You'll love yourself better. You'll love everyone else more, because you understand where this love is coming from. And then the life that we speak of in our Creator's life is that everything has to be moving towards nature. It has to be moving towards health and healing, not the other way. And then, of course, light has in it peace. No longer are you patient. You just do everything that you do in peace and in harmony.
This book really needs to be studied, isn't it? This is something that you will refer to throughout your life. It's not, okay, you read it once and you put it up on the bookshelf and it stays there. This really is sort of a daily manual, a guide, isn't it?
Yes, it truly is, just like the Bible. I mean, there's so much to eat each day,
Yes.
you know. That's the only way I can. And then, of course, change only comes by eating a little bit every day. We don't want you to change all at once anyway, because it would not be there forever. What you do is you change it because it's what you see as truth. You will never keep the change if you don't see it as truth. If you see it as truth, you'll make that one small change and then you'll move on. And then where there was a lie or traditions or something that wasn't true, you just replace it, though, with something that is true. And also your words change. Jacob's ladder is actually the Aleph Tav, because on every realm, however you could say that step, that's one of the letters. And when you change your vocabulary so that it's beautiful, it uplifts, it encourages. It's still, you can confront truth, with someone, but understanding that if that person doesn't want to change, well, then it needs to be left alone, because you don't want a fight.
Yes.
You just want to love. And if your truth is different than someone else's truth, well, they're just a little immature, so just leave them, let them grow, give them something or teach them something that they can grow with,
Interesting advice. And we've got a few minutes left. I want to close with celebration once again from the book. And before I do that, I want to squeeze in one question here because it's so important, I believe. In understanding what you're saying in reading, this really is a lifelong process, isn't it? This is something that you may discover something may be more clear to you next week than it is today.
Yes, exactly. That's why when you read the book, it changes, just like you've changed. At the end of if you take even a day or two to read this book, let's say, well, if you were going to read it the third day, you will have changed. Something will have changed. So you will always be seeing new light, seeing it differently.
So often we read and we're entertained, we're amused, whatever, and it leaves us. This is a book that you will go back and refer to. This is a book that will alter your life. You will make changes. You will see affirmations in your life of those changes, and it really is life-altering. The book is Celebrating Our Creator's Truth of Love, Life, and Light, A Child of Light by Yvonne Trapani. As we close here, please read Celebration if you would. This, once again, is from the book. I don't want you to read the whole book, but enough here that people get a sample of what exactly it is you're talking about and how powerful a message it is. Would you conclude with that, please?
Okay, and this is a children's story because there are probably about 18 children's stories in the book. And this one is called, and it's probably the most mature children's story, okay? It's called Celebration. How long before this mortal tabernacle lives without mental or physical pain? It is so uncomfortable at times to be here on this earth. Please, does someone here? Questioned the woman. Your request, my life-living giver, can be understood by our Creator, who is truth. Calmly came the words from within. Religion and man-made family traditions have been my companions here on the earth, cried the woman. Who is this that hears? She added quietly. I am the words of wisdom whom the world cannot receive. I have come to lead you to our Creator if you will love me. The truth is within you, and the presence of our Creator will emerge once reconnected to creation. My mission is to give you the opportunity to believe in the truth of creation and love yourself. Otherwise, you will stay in confusion and not see the simplicity of our Creator, answered the words from within very boldly. How can teachings that are different from what was taught by my own parents, extended family, friends, and the Bible be understood as truth? Reasoned back the woman. All you need is the desire for truth, and courage will teach and strengthen you in all things, replied the voice within. Oh, how the perceptions from which I see from has in it darkness. My mind and heart want the pure truth, but religion and man-made traditions are everywhere I turn. All organizations say they have the truth, but after the study and being among them, I find them to have man-made power and worldly gain. Empty. The hardness from these teachers have made the words from within, which come in silence, precious to my life. Oh, how ignorance and pride keeps a person in fear. Please wait. Time is needed, whispered the woman. And many, many years passed, devoting time to word study, healthy eating, and nature. Spending time regaining the enjoyment of life has removed the dark layers from generations past, and living in present time each and every day brings freedom to love myself, smiled the woman. Truly, our Creator never changes and is present at all times. Truth has given me perfect vision, and together we are one. It was by your healthy choices that wisdom blessed you with words of wisdom in your life. Come, ye blessed daughter of life, into the house of love. Your children of light are gathered in the nations prepared, concluded the words from within. Thank you for your guidance and teachings of truth, replied the happy daughter. Now a loving strength is over me, and a desire to shine abides within. How can I share what has happened? Questioned the joyful daughter. Let your light shine and be at peace. Creation is everywhere and with all people. Keep your life simple, sharing when harmony can bless and your word memory can teach. This is the season of celebration that has been here all along. You have just entered it. Welcome home, sweet one. Celebrate love, life, and light, and rest in peace. Amen.
So well done. That's a children's story that we all can learn from. Such valuable words there. You do an excellent job, not only in writing, but reading. You should do an audiobook. Have you thought about that with celebration and some of the other words of wisdom you have there?
I guess I could do one. I guess I could.
Well, you do it so well. You will learn from her words, and obviously in hearing them, that just reinforces what Yvonne has been addressing in her book. Yvonne, it's been a pleasure having you on the program. Thank you so much for joining us, so much to talk about. Would love to have you back to continue our conversation. Thank you for being with us on the program.
Thank you so much, Rick. Have a blessed day.
It has been our pleasure having you with us, and I would like to thank King Pages Press. That's Yvonne's marketing consultant for arranging our conversation today. Our guest is Yvonne Trapani. The book is very simple and available wherever you find books, celebrating our Creator's truth of love, life, and light, a child of light. Yvonne, once again, thank you for being with us on the program.
Thank you so much, Rick.
It has been our pleasure. You are listening to This Week in America, and we're back on today's program right after these messages.
This Week in America is online. You can visit our website, thisweekinamerica.us. Scott Pinkerton, associate producer of This Week in America. Jay Anderson, segment producer. Ben Watson, webmaster. Otto Bechet, director of engineering and TV production. This Week in America produced and is a trademark of Blue Funk Broadcasting, LLC. For information on all of our guests and to listen to this week's show, our website again at thisweekinamerica.us. And I'm Sean Bratton, executive producer of This Week in America.